Alright guys, BLM here back with more Judgment, continuing on from where I left off. So I just saw the new sale start on PSN. So I took a look at what was on sale there. Nothing that great. There were a couple things I'm considering getting. Like Infamous First Light is on sale for like $11.
Straight ahead is the ADDC's general ward. Wakusan's room is on the 4th floor.
I am considering it. I'm probably gonna lean towards no, but I'm at least considering it. And same thing with Resident Evil Revelations 2 is on sale for $11, which is the only like Resident Evil game on PS4 I don't own at this point. So it's like, really, I feel like $11 is again a bit higher than I would like to pay for. I think probably somewhere in the 8 range is more of my like sort of price for that game. But just to get it out of the way and like own all of them, I'm considering
This was the
buying
room
it,
assigned to Waku-san.
Yeah, no, and I'm probably just gonna lean towards no because it's not one that I feel like I need to own.
What's down there?
That's the research wing, where they develop all our new drugs.
Especially after having played Resident Evil 2, which again I really enjoyed the experience, but it's not really something I'm dying to return to.
Gold, huh?
I suppose because it's the heart of the center's operations.
Huh. Sounds like it's a whole nother world back there. Security like that must be a bitch. Come on, Yagami.
And then, but I did buy one game. I did buy Erica because it was on sale for $5. So it's like, why not? I mean, it's only a $10 game
Before he
anyway,
died,
but again, $5. It's like, why not? I hear good things about it.
And when was he admitted?
I know it's one of those
2 years
FMV
ago.
games, which
With Alzheimer's.
supposedly some of these newer ones that are coming out are actually pretty good. I know
Alzheimer's is a
Erica is supposed to be pretty
neurodegenerative
good.
disease that leads
So
to
I thought
dementia.
$5.
Yes.
I'll give it a shot.
In fact,
Whatever,
it's the
we'll
cause
play
of
it.
almost 70% of
I
all
doubt it's that
dementia
long,
cases.
right? I mean,
So
I'm sure we can
they're
finish
one
it
and
in
the
probably
same,
one sitting.
kinda? Anyway, do what you
I would
gotta
guess
do,
it's like
Yagami.
at most 3 hours.
Hey, has anyone else slept here since Waku-san's death?
Yeah, I picked it up.
Nobody.
I was
No.
going to download it too. I was
Waku-san was
assuming it was going to be like a
missing from
10
his room the morning of
fucking
the incident, yes?
gig download.
That's right.
Turns out it's
So
fucking
he was
40
murdered
gigs
here,
for some
then
reason.
carried out.
So I have to
can't
wait
say
on
for
that
sure,
until I have to
but
finish
it's
Judgment
likely.
here to install it. I only have 30 gigs open. So, yeah, but yeah, like that's another thing. Like I've been considering buying a fucking hard drive for my PS4, but the problem is that it's like we're so close to the PS5 coming out. So it's like, why am I gonna buy a hard drive for my PS4 when I might as well just wait until the PS5 is out and see what they have by then? Because it's like, I mean, like, is it really gonna be that much of a difference here? Okay, what the fuck? Fuck is that? Wait, why is it? Okay, that's weird. Or whatever. Oh, investigate the window. I didn't even look.
Suspicious. The window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here.
Yeah, so Erica, that should be interesting. So again, add that to the list of games we'll probably try to play
All the rooms have windows
before
like this,
moving
right?
on to the
Seems like people would
non-2019
notice
games.
if something was going on in here.
Well,
Yeah,
we
First
only
Light,
have so
I
many
mean, yeah, like,
employees
so
in this
essentially
ward.
those are two
The
games.
halls
First
stay
Light,
fairly busy,
reason I
but
would
it's
buy it is
mostly dementia
because
patients moving between appointments.
I feel like I
see.
might as well talk
I wonder
about
how
it
the room
in
looks from the
my
hallway.
PlayStation video that I
Got all
eventually
you
end up
need
doing
from
by the
here,
end of the year. Again, the question
I
is
think
like,
so.
is $11 like an ideal price for it? It's like it's kind of for like a fucking 6-year-old DLC. I feel like $11 is kind of a bit much, but shit. It's really weird that we're getting this flashback sequence here. I guess they are supposed to leave.
You can definitely see what's going on from out here.
Shintani-sensei, can you lay on the bed for me?
I guess so. Care to join me, Terasawa-san? What do you got to lose? It was a joke.
So from this vantage point, you can't make out the person's face.
So, was this the colossal waste of time I knew it'd be?
Nope. I got something I'd only get from being here.
Does it matter? It's been days. Case is practically closed. Shinpei Okubo is guilty as hell.
Well, according to him, he's not.
Of course that's what he says. Consider the facts though, man. You want to review the case?
Why not?
Sure. Let's go over what we know so far.
Whatever you want. All right, here we go. Our victim was the patient staying in this room, Koichi Waku, male, age 66. At 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the crime, the nurses noticed he was missing from his bed. Given Waku's degenerative state, they assumed he was wandering around the hospital somewhere. But after being unable to track him down, hospital staff filed a missing persons report.
Right.
You know what a dementia patient's like, though. Hard to imagine they'd make it outside on their own. The only conclusion then was that somebody must have taken him out of the hospital. After inspecting all the cars that came in and out of the center, they were left with one possible suspect. A laundryman by the name of Shinpei Okubo. It didn't take much prodding for Okubo to confess burying Waku's body out in the mountains. And lo and behold, 3 months after Waku disappeared, the cops found his body rotting away right where Okubo said it'd be. Cause of death was most likely suffocation, but they still don't know for sure. Any objections to this so far, Yagami-sensei?
Actually, yeah. You're forgetting something.
And what's that?
Okubo-kun insists he didn't kill anyone. All he admits to is dumping the body.
Oh, sure. But come on, Yagami. Guy's got a history of assault, and it's on record. Roughed up his girlfriend. Accidentally broke her finger.
Right, but that was over 6 years ago. He was just a kid. Got drunk, made a huge mistake.
And what? It's okay for a kid to hit a woman?
Of course not. But that's not what he's on trial for.
True.
I don't condone what he did. But legally, committing one crime doesn't mean you're guilty of another.
Fine. But what about Okubo's shaky alibi? He said he left the center at 10 a.m. after grabbing the sheets from the general ward. Claimed Waku-san's corpse somehow got loaded into his truck. Who's gonna believe garbage like that?
If anyone should, it's his lawyers.
We're meeting with Okubo after this, right? You should just be honest with him. Tell him the case is unwinnable.
Are you two done here?
Yep. Can you show us the garage next? The one where Okubo-kun parked his truck. The service entrance, I think it was. That's the only other place we'll need to see today.
We'll need to take an elevator down there. Follow me.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, some people are idiots too when they talk about the game of Survivor, or they talk about the game is outplay at last. It's like, no, that's a fucking like dumb slogan that marketing made. Like that's all fucking outplay at last is. It's not what the fucking game is.
Hey, Yagami, you're never gonna last if you keep taking cases like this. Criminal suits are a constant test of your conviction, your sense of justice. They don't even pay that well.
Careful who you say that around.
Look, Just chill out, okay? Take it from me. I've been around the block way longer than you have. Looks like a regular old garage to me.
You'd make it out with no problem if you put a body into your truck down here. It's quiet.
It is.
Hey, Yagami, check this out. These are the carts they used to collect sheets and linens. Day of the crime, Okubo was all over the hospital with one of these things. Would have been simple for him to sneak a body in there and cart it right out.
Maybe so. Where was Okubo parked on the day of the incident?
Oh, the truck was parked here, with the back facing the elevator. Here's a recreation of it.
I see.
DNA evidence from the victim was found in the flatbed of the truck. That's proof
It's
enough
like,
that the
while
body was
playing
there.
this, it
When they
really makes you
confronted
realize
Okubo, he
just
flat out admitted it.
how much like Shenmue inspired this game,
There was
and
evidence
obviously
that the body was
Yakuza as well. What am I doing? Oh, fuck you then. Where am I going? Oh. South of her, I guess?
When was Waku-san last seen?
Just before 8 a.m. on the day of the crime.
Yeah, 7:50 to be precise. An ADDC scientist will be testifying to that. He claims he saw him nice and cozy in his bed.
I see. Can we talk to this witness?
I tried to get an appointment, but they shut me down. Said they don't want us interfering with their research anymore.
They're not willing to make an exception this once?
This isn't an issue you want to push, Yagami. Worst case scenario, you get charged with witness intimidation.
All right. Anyway, the victim was last seen at 7:50.
That's right. Breakfast is at 8 o'clock, so the patients who can walk on their own gather in the break room. But on the day of his disappearance, 8:30 came and went with no sign of Waku-san.
You thought you'd find him quickly. Didn't exactly turn out that way.
Right.
Got that, Yagami? Here, let's go over some more details. What we know is, Waku was taken out of his room sometime between 7:50 when he was last seen, and 8:30 when everyone noticed he was gone. During that 40-minute span, somebody suffocated Waku and stuffed him into the laundry bin. Nobody suspected there was a body in the cart. And the only clear culprit was Okubo, the man in charge of the laundry. To further back this up, DNA evidence from Waku was found in Okubo's truck. Then when the police questioned Okubo, he confessed to burying the body in the mountains of Okutama. 3 months after the crime, Waku's corpse was finally found. With me? This thing's airtight, Yagami. I know you're getting into this, but come on. Just give it up already. You don't have a chance.
Even though Okubo says he's innocent, I promised him we'd do everything we could.
Not my problem. You shouldn't make promises you can't keep.
Fine, then I'll do it alone. You don't have to be involved.
Even if I'm not, the loss will hurt Genda-sensei's reputation.
I'm sorry, but our client says he's innocent. I can't back down from this.
Fine. I'll be in the lobby.
If you like, I could take you to see Waku-san's room again.
You don't mind? That would be great.
Wait, what the fuck is... Okay.
Are you finished?
I guess?
Yeah,
I don't
see
know
what
what
I
the fuck's
need.
going on.
Anything else you can share?
How long will Okubo-san's sentence be?
Huh?
If he's found guilty, that is.
Probably 10 years, maybe more. It's hard to say for sure.
And what if he confesses? Would they shorten his sentence?
Well, at the very least, it'd make a better impression than insisting he didn't do it.
But you're still going to push an innocent plea? Even though Okubo-san is the one who'll suffer for it?
If he's really not guilty, he won't have to. I'll win. But to be perfectly honest, this is my first criminal case.
What?
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me, too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
Is that so?
Apparently, a smart lawyer would never even consider an innocent plea in this case. Guess it's a good thing that I'm not so smart then, because I honestly believe I can win. Terasawa-san, were you close to Okubo-kun?
I spoke to him pretty often, yes. I would see him around the ward all the time.
And what did you think of him? Did he seem like the kind of guy who'd do something like this?
I'm sorry. The director told us not to say too much.
Wait! If you know anything that can help, just get in touch, okay? I'll do whatever it takes to set Okubo-kun free. But I can't do it alone. Just give it some thought, Terasawa-san. Just now, we went to the ADDC. Thought I should have a look at things with my own eyes.
And how did it go?
There's no chance you walk. You're practically a lost cause.
Hey,
Yagami-sensei, is that what you think?
it's like this, Okubo. You tell me you're innocent, and I'll fight to the end. I really have nothing to lose by helping you out.
It's just like I told you. Whoever did it is framing me.
On the day of the crime, you were in the general ward at the ADDC, yes? Starting at 8 a.m., you went around to each room and gathered the linens.
Yes. Nobody would dispute that.
And after that, you covered Waku-san's nose and mouth, suffocated him, and then carted him out in a laundry bin.
That's not true. Waku-san wasn't there when I went into his room. I didn't see him at all that day. You have to believe me.
And I do. So when you went down to leave the center at 10 a.m. after gathering the linens, you realized there was a body hidden in the truck.
Yes. That's what happened.
Then, after debating whether or not to report the body, you chose to hide it in the mountains.
I had a criminal assault on my record. I knew the police would have suspected me if I went to them.
Aren't you forgetting the bad blood you had with Waku-san?
Huh? Bad blood? What are you talking about?
3 days
So we
before
have
the
different
murder,
words.
Waku-san claimed Okubo-kun here punched him and stole his wallet. They told me all about it at the center,
When did you even ask?
while you were busy chatting up Terasawa-chan. Even if I bitch about it, I'm still damn good at my job.
Well, Okubo-kun, did you take his wallet, or...?
Not quite. They call it delusion of theft. It's a symptom of dementia. You think something's been stolen from you, then blame the first person you see. Not the easiest thing to deal with, right? Someone accuses you of theft for no reason? Must have been a shock. So when Waku-san tried to hit you, you just about hit him back.
But I didn't hit him.
No. You murdered him.
I wouldn't kill a man over something like that.
Slaughter innocence.
I wish I could believe you, pal. Come on, Okubo-kun. You got a record of violence.
It wasn't me. I swear. Somebody set me up. Please, you have to believe me. Whoever did this is laughing at all of us right now.
Calm down.
Yagami-sensei, do you believe me?
I do.
Okay. Then next time, come alone.
Fine. I can take a hint. You and Yagami-sensei can cuddle up all you want.
Hey, you know that nurse, Terasawa-san? Cute girl. It sounded like she was worried about you. Bet you'd have a chance with her once you get out of here.
I don't know. If you'll excuse me.
Come on. So...
So Shintani just left you hanging, huh? He's gotta learn some damn patience.
Maybe so.
How long are we
But this is
spending
my
this
case
flashback?
now. I can handle it myself.
Okay.
Yagami-san.
Hmm?
Have you seen Mafuyui lately?
Where's this coming from?
She's just not that great with men. I suggest you be more assertive.
Right. Okay.
You mean that friend of yours, Saori-kun? She's got Shintani all riled up. Said he'd have been nicer to you if he knew you had friends who looked like her. Jackass.
Hey, nothing's official yet, guys. Regardless, keep it on the down low, okay?
Yet? That word says more than you think.
So we can't leave? So what are we supposed to do then? Okay.
Mafuyui-kun's a prosecutor, right? Isn't it kind of taboo for her to date a defense attorney?
Can we not do this?
Either way, guess the Okubo case comes first. Pleading innocent, yeah?
That's the plan.
What is your plan here? This isn't gonna be an easy win.
Well, I'm working on that. There's one piece of evidence that still bothers me.
Yeah? And what's that?
The DNA sample they found from Waku-san. It was in the flatbed of the truck Okubo-kun used for work.
Right. That's why they went after Okubo in the first place.
As for Waku-san's body, it was hidden in the pile of sheets that had been loaded into the truck. He said he noticed it when he was just about to leave the ADDC.
And then he panicked and buried the body in the mountains of Okutama. As I've seen, he's admitted to that much at least, right?
Yes, but he insists he didn't commit the murder.
Maybe so, but you're gonna need evidence if you want to prove it. Did we get anything else from that truck? Like maybe a DNA sample from the actual killer?
No, nothing like that.
Well, that's a shame.
That's not my point, though. The evidence I showed you is...
That evidence won't win you the case.
What the hell's your problem?
Was that Shintani?
I think so.
Get back here!
That bastard. Oh, was eavesdropping on you.
What the hell?
I tried to stop him, but he pulled a stun gun on me.
Hey! Wait up!
Okay.
Hold up!
Again, how long are we gonna be in this flashback? This is really weird. Fuck off, game. Ah, shit. Probably give us a prop. Fuck off.
Hold up!
Oh, fuck off.
You won't get away!
Ooh, I almost missed that. Fuck. Guess that's it. I was expecting left stick prompts instead of button prompts. Alright.
A woman?
Help! Someone help me!
Aren't you Terasawa-san?
Let me go!
We got a groper out here? Scum of the earth! Not on my watch, you son of a bitch!
Okay. Fine, that works too. Not what I meant to do, but whatever.
Can all lawyers fight like that?
Okay.
Did you really need to run away like that? I assume you came to see me.
There was something I wanted to talk to you about, yes. But I wasn't sure if I should. Then that pig-headed friend of yours started shouting, so I just lost it.
Okay, but did you have to tase him? Not that he didn't have it coming. Anyway, I'm listening if you want to talk. No matter what it is, I'll keep your secret. Anything you tell me will fall under client attorney privilege.
Well, you know the witness who last saw Waku-san? Said he saw him sleeping in his bed.
Uh-huh.
Well, that witness is a man by the name of Shono-san. He's one of the scientists at the ADDC. Not only that, but he's the director's right-hand man, too.
And this is him?
Yes, but something felt off when I heard what he had to say about the incident.
And what's that?
I guess I'm just skeptical as to whether or not he actually saw Waku-san. I don't think he's intentionally deceiving us, but he may be mistaken somehow. And if I had to guess, I'd say the other nurses feel the same.
Still, why hasn't anyone mentioned this until now?
How could we? Nurses talking about a doctor behind his back? That's not something a nurse could do without consequences. And if it came to a courtroom testimony...
None of you would testify?
Maybe the other nurses wouldn't, but I would. I never really fit in over there anyway. Besides...
Yeah?
I think Okubo-san is innocent.
Oh, really? Sounds like
We'll
I've
end after
finally
this
got an
cutscene.
ally on my team.
I don't know if I'll do one more or not today. We'll see. I probably shouldn't, but I might decide to do one anyway. Fuck, how long is this cutscene stuff gonna go?
I'm currently employed as a researcher at the Advanced Drug Development Center. Part of our research consists of clinical tests we perform on patients in the general ward of the center. On the day of the crime, I was making my usual rounds through the ward.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50?
You're sure?
Yes, the patients eat breakfast at precisely 8 o'clock. I always head to the break room myself, right around then, too.
This break room, to be precise?
That's correct. Our more mobile patients walk there for breakfast instead of eating in their own rooms. Then, while the nurses help the patients eat, I ask about how they feel and how the medicine is treating them.
And on the day of Waku-san's disappearance, you passed by his room before going to the break room?
Yes.
And in that room, you saw Waku-san lying on the bed?
Yes.
Can you describe the situation to us as you remember it?
The door has a window, so you can see into the room from the hallway.
And this is the room you're referring to, yes?
That's correct. From where I was standing in the hallway, I could see Waku-san lying in bed. He was asleep, with a blanket covering most of his body.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50.
No further questions.
Yagami-sensei, why did you call her to the stand?
She actually asked to testify. Is that a problem?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Terasawa-san, you were present for Shono-san's testimony just now, yes?
Yes.
And what is your opinion on that testimony?
For a scientist, I felt his wording was rather imprecise. And as a medical professional, I felt his actions were negligent.
Could I ask you to be a little more specific?
Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, there's no way he could have known that just by looking in from the hallway.
I have evidence supporting Terasawa-san's testimony. Take a look at this, if you would.
And this is?
Well, it's an important piece of evidence, but the truly vital part is what I'm going to show you next. Please look at this. It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on Waku-san. Waku-san was already dead when Shono-san went to check on him.
What are you implying?
At the time, the defendant hadn't yet collected the linens. In fact, he hadn't even arrived at the ADDC, meaning Okubo-san could not have been the murderer.
Assuming that's true, then, why did he go through the trouble of hiding Waku-san's body in his laundry cart?
Huh? Well, depending on how you look at it...
Please. You know this is a court of law, don't you?
Sorry, let me start over.
That was wrong.
Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, I'm not convinced that's
So this is the right option, just the wrong.
It's a... The one who killed Waku-san is actually our witness, Shono-san.
Excuse me? What grounds do you have for that assertion?
Grounds?
Please. You know this is...
Sorry, our witness, however...
Yeah, I didn't think that was right, but I just wanted to see what would happen. I think
Shono-san was lying when he said he saw Waku-san in the bed.
Excuse me?
What he saw from the door was likely nothing more than a bulge of sheets. He couldn't have been able to identify it specifically as Waku-san. So to claim as much in his testimony seems like quite an exaggeration, don't you think?
But common sense would dictate otherwise, would it not? Who would be in the bed other than Waku-san?
The staff nurses are trained to always enter a room when checking in on a patient. In Waku-san's case, it's impossible to tell anything just by looking in from the hallway. There was actually one time a while back where we thought he was under the covers, only to find Waku-san eating in the break room a second later. And upon re-examining the room, we realized that we had mistaken a bunched-up pillow for Waku-san.
The witness makes an important distinction. The prosecution asserts that Shono-san's testimony is clear, that the victim was taken out of his room at some point between 7:50 and 8:30 in the morning. They claim that because of this time frame, the defendant must have smuggled Waku-san's body out in his laundry bin. But if Shono-san's testimony is invalid, as the defense asserts, we have to consider the possibility that Waku-san was taken in the middle of the night when nobody else was around. After which, the killer could have waited until the morning to plant the body in the defendant's truck. In other words, the defense establishes that there is reasonable doubt that Okubo-san is the killer, rendering the prosecution's central argument unsound. Your Honor, taking this new testimony into account, I'd like to call Shono-san back to the stand for cross-examination. Shono-san.
Yes?
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime, what did you see when you looked into Waku-san's room?
I saw Waku-san asleep in his bed, I think.
And did you get a clear look at his face?
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than Waku-san in that bed. Or maybe even a pillow that you mistook to be Waku-san's body. Isn't that right?
Objection! The defense is leading the witness.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Shono-san, can you say without a doubt that Waku-san was in that bed when you checked on him?
I don't think I can, no.
Then the defense rests. But I do have a quick remark for the prosecution.
Huh?
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible suspect, assuming the crime took place within the stated time frame. However, the defense has proven without a doubt that Shono-san's testimony is unreliable, establishing reasonable doubt for my client. I would suggest then that you withdraw the charges against my client. With such inconclusive evidence, you'll only be wasting the court's precious time.
The prosecution does not consider the witness's testimony inconclusive. His memory of the incident may be fuzzy, yes, but that doesn't change that he saw the victim.
So, your whole case is based on a fuzzy memory? This promising young man's future is at stake, and you're willing to throw that away on unreliable testimony?
Dr. Shono is a bright and diligent researcher. After watching his own grandmother develop dementia, he vowed to create a drug that could cure the disease. After paying his own way through medical school, he went on to become the head researcher at the ADDC.
Wow, this is going on a really
Day
long,
after
isn't it?
day,
Yeah, I almost
visits
definitely
his
won't
sick
be doing
patients
another
out of
episode
the
after
kindness
this
of
at
his
this point.
heart, leading to his valiant testimony here today.
Yeah.
If you want to know whether I trust this man, then my answer is a resounding yes.
In other words, because he's such a great researcher, his testimony is infallible. His own admission that he's not sure is somehow overlooked? Is that the sum of it? Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title, not his testimony today.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think. And you want to talk reputation? What of your client's history of domestic abuse?
Yeah, Shenmue video just came out. I don't even remember how I even made that video. Oh fuck, of course I get an ad on my own fucking video.
6 years ago, the defendant broke his girlfriend's finger. The poor girl is still suffering from the effects. And the cause? A minor, drunken disagreement. Now, fast forward to what occurred a few days prior to the crime. Waku-san, suspecting the defendant of stealing his wallet, lashed out and punched the defendant in the face. Given the clearly violent nature of Okubo-san here, that
This came out,
alone would
what,
be
3 months ago
motivation
now?
enough to murder the poor old.
Is the video only 11 minutes?
I thought it was a pretty solid set piece. In my eyes, the combat was mostly easy by the point I
Is something wrong, ma'am?
were underwhelmed by it.
Please remain seated while court is in session.
I do think it's dumb that Rio doesn't get more information from Juan, but outside of that, I do think it is a...
Okay, either way.
Terasawa-san?
Again, not expecting that video to do well at all. I'll be pretty surprised if it gets more than...
And he hasn't even had
like,
a
to be honest,
drink in over
I mean,
6
I'll be
years.
surprised if it does
Not a
better than
single
the
drop
fucking
since the
Metro Exodus
incident.
review.
My court will
I'll
not
be-
stand for this commotion.
I'm expecting this to do pretty
He didn't
poor.
blame Waku-san at all.
Yeah, I
He
wanted to
knew
make
that
the video
outburst
anyway.
was just caused by his dementia. That it was all the sickness's fault. So there was no reason for him to resort to murder.
Terasawa-san, please.
Okubo-san really is an incredible, caring person.
Please leave this courtroom at once.
You're right that he may be hard to approach, but he's a kind soul, and he always keeps his promises. Okubo-san's not the only person in this courtroom who would be affected by a guilty verdict, either. As a matter of fact, it would break my heart. And even through it all, he wanted me to keep this a secret, not to tell anyone, not even his lawyer, that we were dating. Even though he knew he could have ended up in prison, making sure I was safe was the only thing in the world he cared about. That's just who he is. But when the prosecution has already decided he's a criminal, how could he possibly be given a fair trial?
Isn't that everything the prosecution always does? Whatever.
Her little outburst wasn't technically admissible, but as the trial dragged on, it hung over the jury like a stone. And in the end, Shinpei Okubo was found not guilty. But only a month after his release, everything changed. The same girl who had so bravely proclaimed Okubo's innocence died by the man's own hand.
Well, that's depressing. So we're back to this.
Hi.
Something
That's been
wrong?
a long streak.
No, it's nothing.
Streak of cutscenes. God damn it!
But-
What? You can't talk.
I haven't seen you in about 3 years, Kido-san. I see you're still the director.
You look familiar, but I can't quite place the name. I seem to recall you looking sharper.
I'm a detective based in Kamurocho now. The name's Yagami.
Ah, I remember now. You're the reason Terasawa-kun's no longer with us. Remember, Shono?
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Shono-san, right?
Does it matter? What brings you here anyway?
I'm investigating a murder, and I'll need your cooperation with it. Just like old times.
Yes, I see. Yes. Thank you. It does seem we received a phone call from this Shintani-san you speak of.
Do you know who he was calling?
Dr. Shono.
The same Shono-san you were just with?
Yes. However, it's unclear as to what the point of the call was meant to be. Shono was away from his desk at the time, you see, and Shintani-san didn't leave a message.
You have no idea what he wanted to talk about?
None. Shono says he doesn't know a Shintani-san, and sees no reason why he would be calling.
Oh, really?
Shono and I co-authored the research paper on AD9. We're quite well known, as it turns out. Sometimes, complete strangers pretend to be close friends or relatives in order to contact us. Perhaps Shintani-san fell into that category.
Have you heard of the mole murders taking place in Kamurocho, Dr. Kido? 3 Yakuza, each one with their eyes gouged out. It's a grisly business. Shintani was killed in the same way.
I've seen the news.
Can you think of anything tying the ADDC to those murders?
Huh? Look, just what are you implying? Look, I believe we're done here. There's nothing I can help you with.
Please stop! You can't!
Who are you?
Detective Kuroiwa, Kamuro Police, Organized Crime. One of your guests here has information related to the case I'm currently investigating. That would be
Fuck,
you,
this is a really
Yagami.
long streak of cutscenes.
I'd like to speak
That's
to
what
you as a
that was.
material witness
Yeah,
to the
we're
murder of
48
the
minutes
lawyer
into this.
Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
Oh, is that the end of chapter 5? Okay. The problem is that's gonna, yeah. We'll end here. Yeah, we'll end here. Next episode, we'll go ahead and continue on, but for now, thanks for watching.